Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 40. Easy one to remember today. Right, two ears for you today. Not one, but two. Both similar-ish in that there was a bit of a problem towards the end, and it will become clear. It'd be great if we could post videos that were perfect, everything went great. It doesn't always happen. So I thought I'd show you a few examples of when things don't go quite to plan. Don't get me wrong, nothing went horrifically wrong. It's just a little something that meant you had to stop at that point. So this lady just had a problem in the one ear, as is not unusual. Everybody has a problem in both. And yeah, this is a decent old skin plug, this. And already we've got the bulk of it out. You can just see, you look in the distance there, you can see the eardrum. So at this point, already we've won, so to speak, because she could hear again really well. She's very relieved and very grateful. However, with this type of problem where it's predominantly skin, your skin sheds in the ear, like we shed skin everywhere. The ear canal is no different, and it's supposed to travel from the inside out, from the centre of the eardrum, kind of ripples out and travels along the ear canal. Now, this has obviously got backed up in some way, so you can see there what's left is a freshly shedded layer of skin there. So what I've done, I'm going to go in with a different tube. Now there's two types of tube that we use. There's the standard size suction tube, good for big bulky plugs, quite powerful, and then there's a fine end suction tube, which is a lot thinner, a lot smaller, so it's easier to see in the canal. It's slightly less powerful, but it's really good for this type of peeling, because what can happen, I don't know if any of you are musically inclined, believe it or not, I was a musician before I was a nurse a long time ago, and it's called clarinetting. Now a lot of you regulars, I know you'll know this, but there's a lot of people who are relatively new to these channels and like knowing stuff, so here's some stuff I'm going to tell you. So when you get the skin that's still attached there, but some of it's in the tube, if it's not quite ready to go, what'll happen? It'll flap around violently in the tube really quickly as it's trying to be sucked up, but it's still there. What happens, that produces quite a loud whistle or a squeal, and it's called clarinetting. Because it's the same theory as how a clarinet works, is you have a reed in the clarinet, and when you blow it, it flaps, and that's what makes the what makes the noise, what makes the squeaking noise. Now obviously if it does that, you've got to come out of the ear straight away, because it can be quite deafening for the patient and for yourself, the person who's doing it, so you've got to stop. So it's less likely to happen with this smaller tube with the fine end. It's a lot smaller, but if it does happen, it's at that point where you think probably should stop this, because obviously you don't want to damage anybody's hearing, you don't want it to be uncomfortable or unpleasant. So I'm going to try and peel away as much of this as we can. Now it's all a bonus, this stuff, because like I said, you can see the eardrum there. She can hear perfectly well now. The reason why I tried to peel this away, I thought it would be relatively straightforward. Just makes it less likely that she'll need to come back too soon, It might shave a little bit of time off before needing to have it done again. But truth be told, it probably wouldn't have made too much difference at all if we didn't get this out. It was just a bit of a bonus, and it would mean that we could get rid of at least one tiny layer. So like I said, it would save a little bit of time. It might even be just a couple of weeks before she needed it done again, So it's really not the end of the world, but if it looks quite straightforward and it's going well, then there's absolutely no reason why we can't have a go at getting some of this out, which is what we're doing now. It's really, a lot of you guys I know love watching these skin peel type things. Let me tell you, they're really frustrating to do. I mean, for a start, very difficult, because sometimes you have to get quite close to the ear canal. You do not want to touch that ever. It's very uncomfortable because the skin's very thin. There's no fatty tissue to soften anything. But sometimes when you're pulling it and peeling it, bits jump in the tube that you don't want to jump in, and it tears away when you don't want to tear it away. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do. I'm just trying to tear it away. In an ideal world, it'd be great if I could just get hold of one bit there and it would peel all the way down to the eardrum and take away everything there, but that's quite few and far between. But I've got a reasonable amount already. Just trying to get this last bit here, which is just being a little bit stubborn. And yeah, I think it was not far from here that what happened, it did start having a little bit of a whistle. And it's at that point that you think, well, let's stop now, because we've achieved the aim of the procedure, which is you can hear again. So there's absolutely no need to carry on peeling away, especially when you start to get that noise, you know. Like I said, it's quite unpleasant, and you don't want to trigger a tinnitus or make it unpleasant in any way. So yeah, you need to stop. And as determined as we can be sometimes to get little bits and bats, sometimes knowing when to stop is really important. And it's probably more obvious in the last one I'm going to show you, which was a good one, because that did do a heck of a whistle. And you'll see, because you're kind of always ready to pull the instruments out as quickly as you can. And you might be impressed with my reactions on the last one, because as soon as you heard that squeal, it was straight out, and we stopped at that point. But I don't think we're far away from the end here. So yeah, those of you guys who like a nice, happy, shiny ending, it doesn't always happen. You know, it would be quite easy for me to show you all the videos that does happen to, but very often you just have to quit while you're ahead, and not keep ploughing on if it's uncomfortable or too noisy for anybody. It is quite a noisy procedure. Somebody had asked me the other day actually if I can include some sounds in it. Apparently some of you guys like the squeaks and squelches and what have you. I'm going to try and do that. I'll try and figure out how first. But as soon as I figure out how, I'll upload some videos where I'll maybe do a bit less talking, which is not easy for me, and I'll try and play you back these sounds that the suction makes while it's going on. Anyway, so as you can see, we stopped at that point with the other one, but I'm more than happy with what we'd already got. Now, this second lady, what an absolute trooper she was. She's got an elderly lady, and it was in a visit to a care home, and a care home in the area that I used to work in the NHS, so I knew quite a lot of the staff in there. It was nice to see them. Hello, if any of you guys are watching. Now, I know a lot of them. There were, I think a few of them had already followed my channels and seen some of the videos, and they were absolutely fascinated to watch it, because obviously when you're doing it, you've got the little monitor on a little iPod, and like I can see them all peeking over my shoulder like that, going, "Oh, wow, that's amazing! Look at that, and what have you." They're really enjoying it. I had a little live audience, you know, no pressure at all. But as you can see, this bit came away in installments. Wasn't one big jump, and again, one big chunk. As a big jump, I don't know what jump is. Yeah, that's probably me. Again, it's predominantly a dead skin build up, this one. And again, it's a little bit wobbly because I was doing it on the lady while she was sat in an armchair. I was kind of kneeling at the side of her, you know, because she had some mobility issues, and she was more comfortable in there, you know. But what an absolute star she was. Probably stiller than a lot of patients that I've treated. And it's coming away really nicely, just not all in one big chunk. But yeah, we're having to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, as you can see, there's already a bit of a flap of skin at the base of the ear canal there. And trying to just lift that up so we can get the whole plug out. What actually happens is the plug behind it kind of jumps into the tube, and the skin doesn't come with it. Can you see that? Just left it where it was. A little bit gets stuck at the entrance there. But again, at this point, that's job done. The lady can hear. And I suspect she's probably not been able to hear for a very long time, you know, but the difference for it was really good. Give that a little good shake there. See that bit flying up, you can see quite a bit of scarring on the eardrum there. So I'm going to try and get this last bit here, and maybe peel the bit at the base and not the bit at the top there. I'm just going for there, but watch what happens. You'll see me come out of the ear, try and little peel that up there, but watch how quick it come out. You see that? It's impressive reactions, like a ninja, like a coiled spring, because yeah, we got a big loud squeak, and at that point, straight out you come. I mean, thankfully that little bit of wax that was attached to that bit, it came away with it anyway. But we had to leave that little bit of skin there because we didn't want that to happen again. And from what we saw at the beginning, which was a very full ear, we managed to get it all out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.